time, my boyfriend beat up his ex-girlfriend because she tried to kill me. So it was my sophomore year in high school, and I had just gotten with this guy who was fresh out of a relationship. And let me tell you a little bit about his ex-girlfriend. So before him and I even started dating, him and his ex-girlfriend were together for like 2 years. And guys, this girl was fucking psychotic. Like, let me give you a quick example. Last year, I had a class with him and her, and the teachers assigned partners for this one project. Well, her boyfriend got paired up with this other girl. And anybody who would even talk to her boyfriend would get jumped by her and 8 of her friends. So his girlfriend starts being buddy-buddy with this girl. And his girlfriend goes, "Oh, do you want to come to the bathroom to hit my dab pen?" So the girl says yeah, thinking that she's being all nice and shit. So they both go to the bathroom and they're gone for like 25 minutes. So I asked to go to the bathroom because I want to see what's going on. So I walk into the auditorium bathroom and nobody's really around that bathroom. And this bitch is getting beat the fuck up. Like for part 2. Okay, part 2. Okay, so like I said, I walk in and this bitch is getting her shit rocked. Like there were like 5 girls in there beating the shit out of her. All of them just look at me, so I walk out and go back to the classroom. And the one girl went to the hospital and the other girl got suspended. So back to present day. So after school that day, I get a ride with him and his friends to his house. Well, as we're all driving to his house, we realize that his ex-girlfriend's car is right behind us. And it's literally her and all of her friends. And at this point, my boyfriend's really fed up with her shit. Because she keeps following me around school, texting me saying she's gonna kill me, saying he got her pregnant, always says that he's been cheating on me with her. So my boyfriend pulls over the car, and at this point, I think it's a trap. I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna let me get beat the fuck up. Well, he tells me to stay in the car. He gets out and walks over to her driver's door and tells her to get out of the car. So her and all her friends get out, and one of her friends starts punching him. While he's distracted with that, his ex runs over to the car, opens the door, and pulls out a fucking knife. Like for part 3. Okay, part 3. She fucking has a knife up to my neck, screaming at me. And I'm staying quiet as fuck because I do not want to get my throat slit by this bitch. So all I see is my boyfriend rip this bitch out of the car and start stomping her in the fucking ground. And whenever he went and ripped her out of the car, the knife like slashed my leg open, so there's fucking blood everywhere. And we're like at the beginning of his cul-de-sac, so all the fucking neighbors are outside watching him stomp this bitch into the ground. And then one of her friends comes around the other side of the car, grabs me by my hair, rips me out of the car, starts beating the shit out of me. So then one of his friends starts beating up that bitch too. So obviously the cops were called. My boyfriend went to jail. She also went to jail. And after that happened, my parents made me move schools. But after that, word got around that they were dating again. Good luck to the next bitch. Story time about how I got catfished and almost kidnapped. So because I just turned 18, I thought about signing up for a few dating apps. So I did. I matched with this really cute guy named Chris. And we chatted on the app for like 3 weeks back and forth. I would ask him to FaceTime, but he would always make up some lame excuse. Yes, ladies, there's a video dating app coming out soon. So no more lame excuses for sus boys. Anyways, so finally after asking him a bunch of times to hang out, we finally made plans to meet up for dinner. He gave me the address to the place and it was like 20 minutes from where I lived. And he told me that he was going to be wearing a baseball cap, and I told him that I was going to be wearing a white shirt and green jeans. So I took an Uber and got there at like 6 o'clock, but when I got in there, I didn't see anybody with a baseball cap on. While I'm looking around, all of a sudden somebody taps me on the shoulder. So I turn around and it's this older guy wearing a baseball cap, and he goes, "Oh, hi, I'm Chris." So I'm definitely feeling super sus at this point, but I'm too fucking nice to be like, "Ooh, get the fuck away from me." So I figured I might as well get a free meal out of this. So we sat down to eat, like for part 2. Okay, part 2 of how I got catfished and almost kidnapped. So we get seated, we ordered our food, and I start talking to him. You know, I was just trying to be nice and finish my meal, but it was literally so creepy. The whole time he's like, "Wow, you're so beautiful. How are you still single? Yada, yada, yada." I honestly just wanted to eat and leave so bad. So here I am texting my friend that I just got fucking catfished. And while I was going in and out of my purse, I dropped my phone on the floor. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, why the hell is she telling us that part about the phone? Well, because I'm pretty sure that he put something in my drink. No, like he 100% put something in my fucking drink. So I hurry up and eat my food and drink my drink because I just wanted to get the hell out of there. And my drink tasted totally fine, like there was no bitterness or anything. So while he was getting the check, I went to the bathroom to call my friend. And as soon as I get into the bathroom, I start feeling so off. And no, it was not my anxiety from sus Chris. I also felt like I was gonna throw up. And my friend wasn't picking up at all. So I tried sharing my location with her, which I usually never do, like for part 3. Part 3 of how I got catfished and almost kidnapped. So like I said, I shared my location with her, but it took me forever because I had no control over my body whatsoever. And I was throwing up uncontrollably. So she immediately knew that something was wrong because I wouldn't just randomly share my location with her. So that's when I blacked out, and I really only remember a few things that happened after that. Like, I remember being out in the parking lot and him walking me to a car, which I thought was my Uber. So I remember waking up in the car and looking at the dashboard and it being 9 o'clock at night. So I start to wake up a little bit, and I realize that I'm in somebody else's car and I can't find my phone anywhere. I'm pretty sure I blacked out again after that, because the last thing I remember is a police officer standing over me and shining a flashlight in my face. So apparently there's security footage of him pulling off into a gas station and putting me in the trunk, and he was able to make it all the way to South Carolina from West Virginia. So my best friend shared my location with authorities. I want to spread awareness that things like this actually do happen. If a picture's worth 1,000 words, a video's worth 1,000,000. So click the link in my bio for a safer option of online dating. Love you guys.
Story time of how my best friend got so weirdly obsessed with me that she even plotted to kill my boyfriend. So at the time, me and this girl, let's just call her Olivia, had only been friends for about 2 years. I mean, we really did everything together. We were with each other 24/7, and I mean, we were pretty good friends. But the only thing about our friendship is she did not like when I had other friends. I mean, she didn't have any other friends herself, but literally she would joke around about strangling my other friends because she didn't like when I gave my attention to anyone else. But honestly, I just thought of it as a joke. And then I started dating this guy, let's just name him Jacob. He was probably the sweetest guy I had ever met, and he was a real simp for me. So we started dating, and about 4 or 5 months go by, and he started getting these texts from a random number. And it would always be cringy things like leave her or you die, get away from her, and like stupid cringy threats. Then one night, me and him were just hanging out. Then he gets a text with his exact address saying he had till tonight to leave me or he wouldn't see another day. Then we hear a knock at the door. I'm running out of time, like for part 2. Part 2 of how my best friend got so weirdly obsessed with me that she plotted to kill my boyfriend. So continuing on with the story, we heard a knock at the door and it ended up being her. And she said, "Oh, I'm just coming by to check on you and make sure you're okay." Mind you, we were at his house. And he looks at me like, what is she doing here? So I asked her to leave, and then she ends up getting so mad at me just because I asked her to give us alone time. So the night goes on, and then when I get home, she's in my room. At this time, my whole entire family was out of town, and I was the only one home. So I was like, hey. It was literally just like a normal night, and then I go to shower, and when I get back out of the shower, she's gone. And then my boyfriend calls me, and he goes, "Why is Maddie here?" She had like this black mask on, but she's stupid enough to not realize that we know it's her. And I mean, we're being real here. She was my best friend at the time. So of course he's not going to call the police on her. But she had a knife in her hand. And he opens the door and he like pins her against the wall. And then calls 911, I guess. And then to sum it up, when they get there, she tells them everything that she was going to do. And then they put her in a mental hospital. But she said that she was going to murder everybody that gets close.
In 9th grade, I was getting on the bus to go home from school when I got a text from my boyfriend saying, "I'm so sorry, everything's going to be okay." I then got a text from my sister saying, "Don't blame mom, she already blames herself." Super confused, I called my sister. Voicemail. I then tried my mom. Voicemail. I then tried my dad. Voicemail. I was freaking out because I thought one of my grandparents had died and no one was texting me back. I got to the bus stop and my dad is waiting in his car, which is always a bad sign. "What's going on?" I asked. He says, "Luke is no longer with us. Luke is my childhood dog since I was in 5th grade. I start ugly crying and he proceeds to drive me to my boyfriend's house 10 minutes away in dead silence. I get out, I run upstairs to his room, and I start crying. "Luke is dead!" Confused, he said, "He didn't die, your dad gave him away." So I called my dad screaming and I said, "Get my dog back right now or I swear to God I will never love you again."
Story time of what it was like to work at an actual e.l.f. store before they all closed down. If you did not know, e.l.f. Cosmetics had actual storefronts all throughout the world. A lot of people did not know, which is what hugely contributed to all them closing down. So I'm gonna make this like 3 parts, but I'll post them back to back. So here's the interview process. I applied to the one in Glendale, California in the Glendale Galleria, so whenever I finally got my interview and passed it, the next step was a makeup interview where I brought in a model, and then I did well and I got hired. So once I got hired, I got to meet my coworkers on the first day of my job. I really liked my store manager and managers in general, but the coworkers were not it. Maybe I'm just sensitive, but if you've worked at a makeup store, you know that a lot of times it's really bad energies from other coworkers and a mean girl vibe. I had some really nice people though and girls at the store, so not everybody. Part 2 right now. Part 2 of what it was like to work at an actual e.l.f. cosmetics store before they all closed down. So first I'm going to go into parts that I didn't like about the job, and then I'll go into parts that I did like. So we had a sales quota to meet every single day that was really way above what we could do. So e.l.f. products are like $3 a product, and sometimes they would want our sales quota to be like $1,700 a day for one person, like per person. Sales quotas are doable. Here's the problem though. No one came into the store I worked at, so I'd have to go out into the mall and be like, "Hi, how are you?" screaming at people. I felt like those girls from the movies with like perfume bottles at the mall, like, "Come smell our perfume." It was just embarrassing and the customers hated it. Because of these sales quotas, we had to push product to people buying stuff already that they didn't. So I guess it was just the adding stuff onto people's carts and all that. Just altogether, it was really overwhelming. Part 3 right now. Part 3 story time to working at an e.l.f. cosmetics store before they all closed down. One of the things that I really liked about working there is that they gave you potential to move up quickly. With good work ethic and good numbers, they promoted me to manager within like 3 months of working there. They hired really well for our store manager and our DM, so it was a supportive system. But on the flip side of that, I do think that they hired actual employees pretty poorly. For instance, myself, who had only been there for 3 months, got promoted faster than people who had been there for years. Like, I had a coworker that literally yelled at customers, and I'd have to calm her down and the customers. I also really liked that we were encouraged to do makeovers on people. I thought that was really fun. We were, of course, encouraged to push product during those makeovers, though, so I didn't like that part of it. I really liked the job overall, and I was so sad whenever they closed down all the stores.
One time in high school, I was hanging out with this boy I had a crush on, and we were cuddling on the couch, and he had his arm around me, so I was like right here, in his arm region. This haunts me to this day. I am almost 21. This happened when I think I was 16, and there's not been a day that has gone by that I haven't thought about this once. Most embarrassing moment ever, okay? I pray to God he does not see this video. So we were cuddling, right? I was in his arm region, and he was a skinny guy. He was kind of scrawny, and he was like, he mumbled something. I couldn't really understand it, but it sounded like he said, "I love you." And I was like, huh? We weren't dating. We didn't have a thing. We were just like, oh, he's cute. I'm gonna hang out with him. So I was in his arm region. We were chilling, watching TV or something. I don't even know. And it sounded like he said, "I love you." Okay? And I was like, huh? What did you just say? And I said, "I love you too." And he looks back at me like, and I'm looking at him like, he goes, "No, I said I have to move my arm." I hate myself.
You know what I find funny? How the school system will teach us how to memorize pages and pages of useless and indoctrinated information that we could literally look up within seconds, but they fail to teach us the most important things in life, like, I don't know, creativity, imagination, self-awareness, how to love other people, communication skills, how to challenge ideas, how to grow our own food, how to self-defend, how to build, and overall just how to think for ourselves. Or literally anything about money, debt, or taxes. Or I don't know, just finding our passions and true talents in life. But no, they teach us what to think and not how to think. Just a thought.